Hey all, Jeffrey King here. Welcome back to Project Lowball. This will be the final video on Pokémon Shield. So I've beaten every single Pokemon boss in this game's main story at the lowest possible level. All the gym leaders, Rose, Oleana. I did do the Avery battle from Isle of Armor, but that's not really worth talking about because my solution for that one was bad. Eternatus, Champion Leon, and the post-game battles against Beat and Hop. Today I want to talk about my journey. It was overall a journey I greatly enjoyed. This Runerigus here is why I said main story, because I was trying to figure out a way to beat Mustard at the lowest possible level. Didn't work. I've had a few potential solutions. Talon Flame resists all the Mini-Shell's moves and can get acrobatics and Sword Stance. Runerigus has incredibly high base defense. You might be able to do something with it in Body Press since it's immune to fighting. Etc, etc. This file, Mustard has a Dark Urshifu, so I can't rely on a store-powered setup, unfortunately. So, there's a lot of Pokemon, some of which I use my casual playthrough. Let's talk about that first. I use a Cinderace, Morpeko, Orbeetle, Feeble, and Eldegoss. I think I'm forgetting one. Who am I forgetting? Am I forgetting one? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah, I also used the Garbodor. First, I'll talk about that. It was overall a lot of fun to use this team. I've learned Feeble's learn set sucks ass though, so and Eldegoss isn't that great. But they were fun to use just for the experience of using them at least once. Garbodor was Orbital doesn't really get many good bug moves if I level up. Morpeko is fun to use, and I've developed a new appreciation for Cinderace. I had enjoyed using it a lot. It's really fun to use, and I don't hate it anymore. I used to hate it for years, because I've always had a strong dislike for Mile-type starters, due to the childlike touch of, ooh, what new typing is it gonna get? And then being disappointed when it doesn't get one. It ruins the thrill. So what were the rules for Project Lowball, this challenge I was doing? Well, put simply, you beat every boss fight with one Pokemon at the lowest level possible that can be legitimately acquired without any use of trading, events, etc. on a game file. You do not have to receive the Pokemon legitimately, it just has to be theoretically possible. All the Pokemon I used were theoretically achievable, but I used my main save file and the resources on it in order to set them up with EVs, natures, etc. So, I decided to do Shield Lowball because this YouTuber Paladin, who is the host of this challenge, was doing the older games. And I was like, but with the wild area and Pokemon variety, Gen 8 and 9 would have so much potential. And eventually I decided to do it myself. These are all the Pokemon I used in various Lowball battles. Let's begin with talking about the Rose Raid. Also, health items are down, but you're not allowed to use any bag items in these battles. Rose Raid can be captured at level 11 in the wild area. I did not account for the wild area breedery, but Rose Raid was used against Milo at level 11 due to its ability to double resist grass and have very high base stat total, which at such a low level is all you really need. It just used Sword Stance, Poison Jab. Synthesis wasn't even needed, but it was good to have anyways. You can just catch them in the wild area. You could probably breed a lower level one since I forgot you could breed in order to beat Milo. And it just kind of went with Max Ooze and its incredible bulk and resistances against Milo. It's not a very deep strategy. Leafeon was much more interesting. Now this one entered a battle against Nessa at level 8. With use of Curse, Leftovers, and Protect, you can set up to +6. You do need to use the DLC to teach a Grassy Glide, however. This was a very interesting battle. This one was very fun because what made it so fun was that you can't get grassy terrain on Leafeon, but we make really clever use of Dynamax because what you can get is Max Overgrowth. After you set up, you Dynamax, Max Guard, Max Overgrowth, Max Guard, and then when you and the reason we use the third one is so that we can have priority against the rest of our Pokemon, because Grassy Glide will then get priority, and it sweeps, even at level 8. Max out its attack and health, another pretty simple strategy. Leafeon was chosen because it's a grass type that gets a very high base stat totals. A lot of the early battles, evolutions are very useful for due to their naturally high base stat totals. How due to their ability to evolve at a low level, stone evolutions are almost always looking at for Lowball in the early game. Litwick entered the battle against Kabu at level 1. You can beat Kabu for level 1 Pokemon you catch in his own gym. I had a lot of help with Neobones for this battle on Discord. Pretty cool person. I ain't seen him in the server for a while. Neo, if you see this, I hope you're doing well. Max special attack and HP, I think it was. We get Flash Fire and Litwick because Ninetales literally only has fire and normal attack, so Litwick is fully immune. Which means we can set up to +6, set up a sub, and sweep. But why is Smog here? Because we don't have enough Shadow Balls to kill Ninetales at level 1. Instead, we poison it with Smog as we set up, and we make sure to set up the sub. I think we hold leftovers to recover the health lost from a substitute. And, we let the poison kill it. We then get all the levels we need off of killing Ninetales. So you can enter the battle at level 1 completely for free. After that, you just sweep your Shadow Ball. You do have... Arcanine is a range. If you miss the range and the substitute doesn't, substitute protects you from the first bite, but not the second. So you have to, if you miss the range, you have to Dynamax so you don't die to the second bite, if it survives. And then Sense Scorch can't do much to you and dies to 2 Max Phantasms. Snorlax. Now this is the funny one. PP is a little bit of an issue. Max HP and defense, I think it was. It entered the battle at level 13, I think. It was an incredibly low level. Somewhere in the 10s. You just, the honor wasn't actually used in the battle. That star was actually Crunch originally. And you're learning on mid-battle. I can't remember if Gon was actually used. But this is a very fun solution for Alistair. Because Snorlax's natural bulk allowed it to set up with Curse, protect Stall for leftovers recovery, and then use Crunch to Darkest Lariat. You're usually better off using Crunch because the extra 5 power on Darkest Lariat doesn't make a difference, and Crunch can get defense drops. It's a little bit luck-based, especially if you get crit, but, yeah, Snorlax just works great for Alistair because Brutal Swing is the only move that Yamask he opens with has, and it's not very powerful. I did consider at one point using a normal type with Wide Guard to be completely immune to Yamask by PP stalling it. The problem with that is that there's one normal type that learns Wide Guard. Reggie fucking Gigas. Obviously, that's not a viable option, because you can only get one at level 70 in this game. Bronzor was used for Opal. Now, the quiz questions don't really change a ton. Hypnosis was originally Calm Mind. It was replaced mid-battle, but ultimately it wasn't very useful. You need to PP up Protect and Flash Cannon to be able to stall enough. Weezing only gets Fairy Wind and Tackle. It does have a poison move, but Bronzor is immune. And Fairy Wind and Tackle can't hurt it much. By setting up a Fire and Defense and Calm Mind, swapping between the two, depending on what Weezing is using, because he's going to use what deals more, and that means that's the defense you have to buff up. Along with the quiz questions giving us other boosts to accelerate our setting up, you can leftover stall to +6 and then kill with Flash Cannon. You have to Dynamax on the Mawile in that battle because it knows Crunch, and you will not survive unless you Dynamax on it and use your Max Steel Spikes there. And it also accounts for the Crunch, dropping your defense because the Max Steel Spike boosts right back up. There is a risk of running out of Flash Cannons even with the PP up during that battle. However, this can be mitigated via the use of Flash Cannon only after Alchemy's Dynamax ends. If you attack Alchemy whilst it's Dynamax, you're not going to make it. It was a really fun solution because I just found Opal losing to a low-level unevolved Pokemon to be incredibly funny. It is also worth noting another good reason not to attack Alchemy with, also, I think the setup was max special defense, max HP. But yeah, another good reason not to attack Alchemy with the, it'll come to me. With the, when it Gigantamax, because the Streamax move will heal it and undo the damage you did anywho, and with Flash Cannon's PP being so limited, you really can't afford that. Getting special defense drops to crits on Togekiss also helps a ton. Ninetales was used on Melanie. It was a stored power setup of Calm Mind, Agility, Protect, Leftovers. Leftovers is used a lot. A lot of this is just finding what can set up on the first Pokemon and sweep after. Max Special Defense, Max HP. you specifically do not want to use snowboarding. I think it entered the battle at like level 16 or something. Bronzer was like level 16 as well. But you use Snow Cloak. This makes setup safer by granting you evasion and hail, and you have to reset until Frostass uses hail turn 1 to get off your first calm, otherwise you take too much damage. So there's a big luck factor on the first turn. After that, though, you can just like heal, use protect, and sweep with sword power. There's not a ton else to say about it. In addition, Ninetales has really good resistances against all of Frostass's attacks. It has to be the Alolan form in order to not take hail damage. It all just lines up perfectly. You can get Alolan Ninetales in both versions via the Diglett quest, so it's perfectly naturally available. This was also a very fun solution because it allowed me to really put my ability to use, and that I felt that was very creative. So I enjoyed this one a lot. Skarmory, max defense, max HP. I think it entered a battle against peers during the early or mid-20s. I don't have all of those memorized. Iron Defense, Protect, Roost, and Body Press. This is a simple body press set that was used against peers. Just Roost when needed, Protect when needed, and spam Body Press. This one was pretty fun to figure out. Skarmory is used a lot in Lowball due to its incredibly high natural bulk and base stats all at an incredibly low level. And Body Press being super effective, meaning we only have to boost one of our stats as well, since Body Press fails with defense, makes it all run smooth like butter. Very funny solution because we just go in with like one metal bird and we're like, Dorime. Just T-pose on him. He's literally doing a bird T-pose. Look at him. God damn it. The main complaint I have about that battle, I distinctly remember it as being very fucking frustrating, is that, if I need, because, like, I kept going in and I was like, okay, one more level will do it. But every time I needed to get just one more level, I had to walk all the way out of Spikemuth, because you can't fly there. Then I had to walk all the way back in. And worse still, is that every time you re-challenge peers, you have to watch the no voice acting concert cutscene. It was so fucking tedious, man. Like, please don't attempt Shield Lowball on physical horror. Please don't try to improve my strategies, because there is room for improvement. Rosehead, for example, if you breed one, I think you could go as low as level 8. But please don't do it on physical hardware. You're going to want to do this on emulator. And I hate playing Pokemon games on emulator, because my Pokemon are just fucking stuck on there. So if I encounter a shiny, it's worthless, because it's trapped, and I can't add it to my collection. But that's a whole other thing. Sylveon was one of the 2 Pokemon used for Raihan. Raihan was incredibly difficult to figure out, and I'm not very confident in my solution. One of them was level 29, one of them was level 31, but I can't remember which was which. Actually, okay, this must have been the higher level one. Anywho, Sylveon was chosen because it had the highest power for Hyper Voice I could achieve. Here's how it worked. You would open Protecting Sylveon, and you would have both of them target Sylveon. Meanwhile, you have Clefable with Magic Guard, so it's immune to Sandstorm. Use Cosmic Power to set up its defenses. Next turn, Clefable follows me, you Calm Mind. You reflect, and you repeat healing and setting up with Clefable's Wish and Moonlight as needed. Wish is used for preemptive healing or to heal while Sandstorm is still up. With Cosmic Power, follow me as you can. There's a lot of luck involved due to how long the fight goes on, crits, high damage rolls, too many rock blast hits, etc. But you don't set up until Flygon is dead, because Flygon knows Steel Wing. It was an incredibly frustrating battle due to how luck-based it was, in addition to double battles having so much more moving part. I was very satisfied when I won, but I'm not super confident. Also, to hit the damage thresholds, you need to max out its attack and use Special Attack and use Pixelate. I can't remember what I put the other EBs into. I remember, like, I don't outspeed Energy, so I wasn't very worried about the speed stat. Meanwhile, Clefable was maxed out on the bulk. The physical defense, special defense wasn't really needed very much, although it would have been optimal to have a nature that decreased speed or special attack instead, since Clefable is just here to tank and has no attacking moves to speak of. But with the Pixie Plate, it's just enough damage starting from level 31 to win the battle. You do have to set up with Calm Minds a lot after you take out Flygon, but that's fine. Also, it was just real frustrating RNG based, but I did ultimately win. This Ninetales, I was hatching Ninetales to use for the only on battle, and this one happened to be shiny. So, Theoretically, you could also use a Alolan Ninetales. I don't think... Well, no, you can't, because Alolan Ninetales is on immune to burn, and the Will-O-Wisp damage negates your leftovers. Yup, it's leftovers again. I think this one entered the battle at, like, 20-something or 19. Max HP and special defense to set up on Frostlass. You simply old Calm Mind Agility, Stored Power, Protect set. You, there is a bit of RNG, because if she attacks turn 1, you just kind of lose. But yeah, since I haven't had your shiny full picks while setting up for Oleana, I just decided to use this as a shiny Ninetales for some visual flair. I remember this fight being very frustrating as well, because I just wanted to move on. And, finding that with the RNG around if she attacks or uses double team turn 1 or not. She uses a lot of double teams, which is another luck factor, which was also so goddamn frustrating, because you have to have your stored powers hit, or you run out of stored powers and you lose. Probably should have PP'd up stored power. But with, you know, the bulk and just getting the first turn or two to be double team, so you can set up some Calm Minds to negate to lessen damage from Hex, which has really low PP, and when she runs out for 10 Hexes, she's not all that dangerous because she relies on Icy Wind, and you resist that. Granted, the defense, speed drop can kind of suck, but plus 5 speed is enough to kill any, so it's fine. And you should be able to defeat Oleana fairly easy with just this Ninetales at level 27. I'm going to link the playlist, which will have all the exact levels in the description of this video. I'm also going to link one of my favorite videos from Paladin on his Lowball for Emerald, namely revisiting it and doing the gym leader matches, which were double battles. Very cool video. Please go watch that. The fucking Quagsire. So, okay, I gotta talk about Nessa now. Nessa was one of the most frustrating battles in this entire fucking Lowball, second to only Leon. Actually, no, you know what? Nessa was worse. There wasn't really any good Pokemon that could set up on Nessa's Glaciopod, and if you kill Glaciopod, she's going to switch into whatever optimal counter she has for your next team member, which means you have to set up on Glaciopod. So how do we do it? Simple. This Quagsire has the ability... It has the ability Unaware, which means it's immune to the Sword Stance boost. You get the turns 1 Sword Stance from Quagsire, which can be baited at about level 26 or 27, though, and he just uses First Impression every time, and that you can't really bounce back from that. Use Curse and Amnesia, since those are your best defense boosting options, and Quagsire is the best Unaware user I could find, and Toxic Stall. Now, you only use recovers as needed. Keep yourself about above 3/4 HP, because otherwise, you know, you will die to every crit. But if you're above 3/4 HP, you only die to most crits, which is why this battle sucks so bad. I got crit over and 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 over, and you get the point. It was the most frustrating shit. I just wanted the battle to fucking end by the end of it, because you just kept getting crit. God almighty. I hated that. Because, like, it's not like I could do anything to negate crits. It was just luck at that point. Luckily, I really like the next solution. Point is, this Quagsire around level 27 with max defense, max HP, can stall out Nessa. And just Toxic Call on her entire team, assuming you don't get crit. I do recommend Toxicking and then Dynamaxing against Dreadnought and using your max guards to mitigate risk. Like, it's not mandatory to win. If you get crit, you lose, but it allows you to, you know, survive. Block some of the attacks, which decreases your chances of getting crit. Another funny story about crits is during the Opal battle, I actually took a crit from Alchemy, but I protected that turn. So even though it was a crit, 3/4 of the damage was negated, even if it was a Gigantamax moves, because Protect only stops 75% of the damage from max moves, which is not way to survive. I had exactly 1 Protect left, and good thing I chose to fucking use it. Shit was crazy. Diggersby enters the battle against Alistair around level 19, max attack, max HP. Diggersby is weirdly perfect for setting up on his Dusknoir, because Diggersby, I'm also train of thought. Diggersby is normal ground, which means it resists rock throw, which the enemy has, and it's immune to the ghost move it has, and it's immune to the thunder punch it has, meaning it can only be hit for no resisted damage and has a good bulk. However, huge power is mandatory, or you cannot one-tap his entire team at such a low level. I believe it was max attack, max HP, holding leftovers yet again. You just set up with bulk up, then you set up with agility, you get the +5 speed, and you actually know payback at the start of the battle. I replaced it with bulldoze later. I also discovered what I believe to be a glitch, that being after he heals Dusknoir with a hyper potion, payback does more damage, which implies that the game reads the enemy using an item as you taking damage for the sake of payback's damage. I have no fucking clue what caused that, honestly. You do eventually stall out all of his rock throws, and then you're completely safe. You could theoretically stall out the fully healed leftovers, but you just sweep at that point. Anywho, I can't remember if you needed Dynamax to sweep. Doesn't really matter. Point is that like a level, I think it was 19, Diggersby with huge power sweeps Alistair, and it's really funny. Really wasn't that frustrating as a fight. Not too much RNG, so that's good. But it was annoying to have to get huge power, because that's 200 Dynamite ore in this game. And I don't think Diggersby is in Paldea, so I couldn't transfer it there either. Really fun fight, really satisfied with this solution. I'm pretty confident this one's optimal. You might be able to go one level lower than I did with Perfect IVs, because I don't have a way to get Perfect IV Pokemon easily on this file. Or my main file. Now, this one was funny. It was pretty frustrating, because there's a lot of luck involved in the first few turns, but once you get past, you're pretty much good. Unless you get crit. Magic Bounce, Xatu, max special defense, max HP. Use this against Raihan. What you do is you Dynamax turn 1. Okay? And then max guard. You use max guard all 3 of those turns. Because you're trying to bait out the Yawn, which gets bounced back on the Torkoal, and then it sleeps just as your Dynamax ends. You then use the turns where it's asleep to set up as many Cosmic Powers as you can, roosting as needed. We choose Roost over Protect here. The reason being that you're going to get burned. And those Lava Plume, which has a high burn chance, and it will eventually burn you. So that negates our leftovers, so we can't rely on that. You go into all the other Pokemon with high HP after getting +6 in buff defense for Cosmic Power, and +6 special attack from Calm Mind to then use Stored Power. You may notice Stored Power is a staple of this, of my strategies, because they can hit such insane numbers if we just keep boosting, and we're using setup anywho. Again, whatever can at the lowest possible level with the EVs in nature set up on their first Pokemon is usually your best option. That's a good rule of thumb for Lowball. And Xatu just so happens to, in addition to bouncing back Yawn, have pretty good bulk. And, Sword Power. So you do all that, you then sweep with Stored Power, you play defensively, you keep your HP high with Roost. Because you don't quite one-tap a lot of his team, it's mostly 2-taps. Which means that you're going to need to be able to take hits with your boosted defenses. So, Roost liberally. It was a pretty fun solution. It was very satisfying to have such an easy solution against Raihan, but it was pretty frustrating due to how much trial and error there was with testing out the opener. I think you could go lower on Raihan, because I think you could bait out Yawn turn 1 at an even lower level if you max guard turn 1 and then have him Yawn turn 2, because he no longer sees the kill if you're Dynamax. That's just a theory. I don't know as it works. That's just a guess, but I think it's worth revisiting. Next up was Ninetales. Ninetales is used against Rose, and the Rose fight. It's such a cool strategy, but it is the most frustrating shit to pull off. Oh my fucking god. First of all, the Alolan Ninetales Alolan Vulpix you get from the Diglett quest comes with its hidden ability. And if you hatch a Cantonian Vulpix from it, it can have the hidden ability, which is Drought, which we need. Max special attack, max speed. Turn 1, you have to Hypnosis. If Hypnosis misses, you lose. If Excavator wakes up before 3 turns pass, you lose. Rose's entire team is incredibly slow with the sole exception of Clink Clank. This is relevant because we only need 1 agility. 1 Nasty Plot, 1 agility, like level, I think 16 it was, max flare, in Sun, kills. Yeah, at that low level. You get a bunch of levels off of killing the Excavator. Think off. Oh, you're also this Ninetales holds charcoal, so you're stacking some bonus, stab bonus, charcoal bonus, and 1 nasty plot with the times 4 weakness and the power boost from Max Flare. But the RNG gets worse. Clink comes out. You need Excavator to sleep for 3 turns because you need to sleep it, use 1 agility, use 1 nasty plot, and then kill with Max Flare in the sun. Then, when Clink comes out, thanks to your 1 agility, you have to use the agility. In order to outspeed it, you outspeed it. If you don't outspeed it, if you don't get that agility off on Excavator, you will die to Wild Charge. It's always a 1-tap at such a low level. Clink goes out. Ferroform comes out. Theoretically, it might be safer to try to set up on Clink, but I never bothered to test this. Sun goes down on the 3rd turn. So instead, we Max Flare again, killing Ferroform instantly, setting Sun back up. Berserker comes out, and this is the second major RNG check. You Hypnosis again on the Berserker, and if you miss, you lose. Then you Nasty Plot a second time, because 1 Nasty Plot, even with all the levels you gain, and even with all these stacked damage multipliers, it's not quite enough to 1-tap the Gigantamax Corporaja, so we need a second one. And Berserker 1-taps you. Everything on the team is slower at this point, but Berserker and Corporaja will both 1-tap you, so you have to sleep one of them in order to get off the Nasty Plot safely. And then it gets worse still, because you then have to kill Corporaja and Berserker with Fire Blast. And if either of those miss, you also lose. It's such a frustrating battle, but winning at like level 15 was so fucking funny. Rose being like haha, I'm going to, bring about the darkest day, I'm the big bad, and then he gets killed by 1 wildly underleveled Fox just because I stack a bunch of multipliers. Very frustrating battle to execute, very funny solution that I'm genuinely proud of. You might be able to go a level lower with perfect IVs, but I don't think so. I forgot about this set. Okay. This set is incredibly funny, because what you do is, in the Battle of Eternatus, you don't have to do much. All that it takes is for you to not be targeted on turn 1. You hold the Focus Sash, and if you're not targeted on the first 2 turns, you don't even need Focus Sash. And then any Pokemon with Leech Seed or Substitute can solo Eternatus. Because what you do is you Leech Seed at turn 1. It targets one of your allies. You get healed. You Substitute turn 2. It either hits you first and you use your Focus Sash, or if you don't have one, it hits one of your other allies. A little bit luck-based, not that bad, because it's only a 25% chance to get hit on either of those 2 turns. It means it's a 75% chance you don't get targeted. That twice in a row is a 9 out of 16 chance, is just over 50%, so that's a slightly above 50% win rate. And then you just use Substitute every single turn until it dies. And it just works, because if it hits you, you set your sub back up, Leech Seed heals you, and you repeat the cycle over. There's nothing it can do to you. You can solo Eternatus with any level 1 grass type that learns those 2 moves. Bulbasaur, or fucking Oddish, or whatever you want. I chose Maractus because I like Maractus. It's a very underappreciated design, even though I've never used one. If Black and White Remake, aren't shit like BDSP, how do you make a game worse? How do you make a remake worse than the original, by the way? But I just thought Maractus was very funny because Dancing Cat just going boop, boop. I discovered a couple glitches in that fight. 1, the Substitute is invisible in the Eternatus fight. I don't know what calls that. 2, if you have cutscenes turned off, if you lose the battle and return, the cutscene before the battle begins still plays. And 3, you know how Dynamax Pokemon blow up when you beat them? If you have cutscenes turned off, Eternatus doesn't blow up. And it's like, where's the kaboom? There's supposed to be a giant earth-shattering kaboom. Marvin the Martian. Upset that the earth didn't explode. I think sometime in the 90s. I don't know where that quote is fully from. But he doesn't blow up if you have cutscenes turned off. Even though the cutscene before the battle replays if you have cutscenes turned off. But it doesn't play the first time you do the scene. I don't think. I might be mistaken on that. That reminds me of another fun fact. If you lose to Oleana and go back up, 1, you can't leave the tower after going back in, and it skips you right straight away on it. And 2, there's a little symbol animation you see for the loading screen that I don't think is shown anywhere else in the game. It's shown in my Only On It video, I think. Or some video on this channel. Anywho, yeah. So that makes the Eternity strategy incredibly funny. But it gets funnier. I made a Reddit post about this video. It took off. Level 30 Blossom has all the tools needed to set up on Adder Slash and then sleep. It's very luck-based. Basically, turn 1, it has the King Shield. You're holding leftovers for extra recovery. If it doesn't King, your max special defense, max HP. Ability is irrelevant. If it doesn't King Shield, it just kills you. But you sleep it, and that has to sleep for 3 turns, so you can start 3 Quiver Dances. After the 3rd, you got Speed and Constraint Step on the 4th turn, which allows you to just barely survive the Sacred Sword. You keep Strength Stepping until you can safely sleep it again and continue setting up. After that, it's just kind of like all starts to blend together. There's 2 ways the battle can go. The first is if he heals Adder Slash, you have to attack it only in its sword form where you run out of Moonblast. Moonblast is the best thing Blossom gets. Blossom was chosen because it gets Strength Sap, Quiver Dance, and Sleep Powder, along with an okay attack to use against Leon's entire team. And this just barely allows it to survive everything Adder Slash can do. Strength Sap handles your healing and decreasing its attack. Quiver Dance handles its special moves. Sleep Powder handles getting the early setup out of the way. Move Pass deals only at most half damage to his entire team and is super effective against many of his team members. If he heals Adder Slash, you have to save your Dynamax for after Charizard's Dynamax ends and kill him with Max Starfalls, or you run out of PP and lose. If for whatever reason, this only happened once, and I'm not sure what caused it, but it did happen on my winning attempt that I filmed. I did have a win where he healed Adder Slash, I didn't film it. He doesn't heal Adder Slash, you instead Dynamax on his second Pokemon, Haxorus, because Haxorus, if you're not Dynamax, is a range. Afterwards, you keep in Dynamax, you don't kill his Mr. Rime because you instead will heal on Mr. Rime, which will repeatedly attempt to use Teeter Dance, which you'll be immune to from the terrain. Then you allow, then you kill Mr. Rime after the terrain ends, and Inteleon comes out. Sleep Inteleon, heal on it if you need to. You need to go into Charizard with almost max HP, and Inteleon will then die in 2 hits. Charizard comes out. I don't recommend attacking Charizard in its Gigantamax. Keep yourself healed while it's in Gigantamax. There's a lot of luck here. For example, I only won on my winning attempt because his Fire Blast missed. But that only happened because my Sleep Powder missed, which is another big factor, is that Sleep Powder can miss. It's very RNG based. It was so freaking frustrating, but it was one of the funniest, most gratifying battles to win because a level 30 Blossom Soling, in my opinion, one of the harder champions in the series, definitely top 3 hardest champions, which is very surprising for Sword and Shield, but it's fucking hilarious. So I was just trying to figure out if I want to say anything else about that battle. I don't think so. Skarmory was used for the speed battle. I'm not confident in this solution. In fact, I'm like 95% sure there's a better solution. The issue is that you set up on Mawile with Iron Defense. Mawile has this AI bug in Beed's battle, where sometimes it will just use fake tears over and over and over and over again. This happened exactly twice. I could not replicate it, but if you could absolutely find a better solution. You are max defense, max HP, Skarmory. You set up the +6 Sword Dance, and then all of his team members most of his team members are 2-shots. So you have to flinch or hit a damage range on all of them after Mawile. Very frustrating. I think I wanted around level 31, but lower is absolutely possible with better RNG. But I was so fucking done with it, I didn't want to go any further. Oh, baby. This is the one I've been waiting to talk about the entire time. I need to rub my hands together gleefully just because of how excited I am to talk about this Poltergeist. That good hand rubbing. Rubbing my hands together like a schemer. Anywho. I'm sorry, this one's so funny. Okay, so Poltergeist has incredibly high base special attack. Your max base special attack, max speed, weak armor. You enter the battle against the final hop fight at level 1. Oh, it's also worth noting, my starter on this file, as mentioned at the start, was Cinderace. Which did affect the teams of Final Hop and Final Leon. I don't think my strategy for Final Leon would work on the other starters, but I'm pretty confident it would work on every iteration of Hop. Anywho, so Poltegeist has incredibly high space special attack and the ability Weak Armor. Double cannot hurt Poltegeist in any way. So what you do is, the fourth move is originally Nasty Plot, you learn Protect mid-fight. Originally I was going to use Shell Smash, but you can't breed down moves on this Pokemon, so I had to go with a different plan. Which was Sword Power, Withdraw, Will-O-Wisp, and Nasty Plot. So what you do, you burn the Double. You set up the +6 special attack and +6 defense. Double might heal, it might not. If it doesn't heal, you're fine. If it does heal, Will-O-Wisp it again. Once you kill Double, you'll learn Protect, take it. Then you will burn the Snorlax. I know that sounds weird. You could 2-tap Snorlax easily. What you're going to do instead is you're going to set up 2 Weak Armor triggers on Snorlax. What you do is you Will-O-Wisp. It hits you. You don't take a lot of damage because you outsped it. Your speed goes up. Your defense goes down by 1 stage. Protect for more burn damage. Then, Withdraw to boost your defense back up. This gives you a little bit of stored power back and makes you take less damage from the second time it hits you. Protect again. You're at +4 speed, +5 defense. If it uses Crunch and your defense gets dropped, you can still win. I'll get to that in a second, but it's not recommended. It's very luck based. You're better off resetting if Crunch drops your defense, because that takes 20 base power off of stored power, and then you're not gonna have it quite enough to kill Zacian. Bear in mind, this is Shield version, so I had to fight Zacian. Yes, this means that the single strongest Pokemon in Generation 8 loses to fucking T-Time. Well, Urshifu's stronger, arguably, but that's a whole other debate. One of the strongest Pokemon in Generation 8. One of the strongest Pokemon ever, really. Anywho. So, you do enter the battle at level 1, and you get all those you need all for killing Double, because it can't hurt any Ghost type in any way, and this was the best Sword Power Ghost type you'd like to use, which is why I chose it. And yes, we are relying on Weak Armor to boost our speed, but it decreases your 1 stat by 1 and increases 1 stat by 2, which means Sword Power gets a net gain in power of 20 base points. You're also holding Twisted Spoon, of all things, because you need that extra 20%, that little bit of extra oomph, in order to get over the edge to kill everything. You need every ounce of power you can squeeze out of this thing. I'm saying I'm too much. I'm terribly sorry. Damn! I almost did it the first time. Anyways, so you then just kill everything with stored power. With the burn damage, Snorlax goes down. That might be a range, I'm not sure. Everything else goes down until Corviknight. Now, if you got the Crunch defense drop on Snorlax, and you need to set back up, burn the Corviknight. I don't recommend this, but it's a backup strat. Burn the Corviknight, and it will swagger you. If you hit yourself in Confusion, you're probably dead. Afterwards, just Protect. It will set up Light Screen. When Light Screen wears off, kill it with Stored Power. Assuming you don't hit yourself in Confusion and don't die to the Corviknight, you will get off another Weak Armor, and the Swagger will boost your Stored Power even further, and you can then kill Zacian in 1 tap of Stored Power. Just make sure the Light Screen goes down before you attack Corviknight, and stall with Protect against it. Just get as much burn damage as you can while you wait to secure the kill. And I'm pretty sure even without this, if it doesn't use Swagger, you're probably fine, but I'm not 100% sure. I only tried the Corviknight strike once, and it just happened to work. But it's very luck-based, and very strongly discouraged to rely on this backup strat. Otherwise, just 1-tap the Corviknight with Stored Power, and get to the Zacian. Now, there is one other thing about Zacian. If you didn't get the Crunch defense drop, killing Zacian is our damage range. You can miss it, and you can lose. But that's an if. If at first you don't succeed, just reset and try again. Eventually, you'll hit the range and defeat Zacian, starting with only level 1 Poltegeist. You literally beat Zacian and Hop's entire team starting at level 1, and just gain all the levels during the fight. It combo over again. It's so fucking funny. I did do Final Avery. The strat for it sucked. Light Screen Corviknight with Agility, Roost, and Power Trip. The reason I couldn't find anything better is because Swoobat has Unaware. And there's not really any good power trip users that can set up on the Ponyta that he has, because the Ponyta has Fairy Wind, and all the other power trip users are dark, which means they're weak to Fairy. So instead I relied on Corviknight with Light Screen, because Light Screen is not accounted for by Unaware. Like, you still get the special defense extra protection, and I focused power trip. This strategy sucked. You used Corviknight level 38, which is the lowest level it can evolve. I considered using Corvisquire, but Corvisquire doesn't get Light Screen. Only Corviknight specifically does. Again, I didn't do Mustard. So overall, I greatly enjoyed this journey. I casually replayed the game with many new Pokemon and the new team. Here are all the winners of each battle, which I've gone over. And that was a very fun experience, and allowed me to develop a new appreciation for Galar, some of the more obscure mechanics, and Cinderace. Very fun. It really was a brain tickler. But it was very frustrating to execute on the RNG. Paladin is going to be doing a video at a later time about Galar. I think he's going to be using my solutions as a basis and improving many of them, I'm sure. He might just outright find something better that's not even related to some of my solutions, but he can't improve Hop and Cabo. Why did they not give Hops, double, fucking anything to her ghost types, dude? Who designed that fight? But, it was a very enjoyable and rewarding experience that I recommend everyone try out if they're a diehard Pokemon fan looking for something to do until ZA comes out. So, the only other thing to note is that, oh, someone's calling me, so I'm gonna cut this off here, but basically, no one's done Gen 7 yet, and there's a low-level Salamence. That could lead to some very funny solutions. If anyone wants to look at Alola, be my guest. I'm going to start on Paldea in the near future. This has been an overview. It was a very fun journey, while it's also being very frustrating, but overall worth it. Yeah. Playlist for all the battles will be in the description, where you can see my frustration firsthand. And, I will be doing Paldea. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to say about all this, but there's really not. Follow my, other social media, Wattpad, AO Free, Game Jolt. I mod games. I'm planning to make an original game. I, subscribe for more Pokemon and game modding content. I hate the term content. Technically speaking, videos are art. Subscribe for more art. Let's put it that way. Yeah, much better. Fuck you, YouTube. I hope you all enjoyed this discussion. Have a great day.